Hello, welcome, greetings. So, this message is for a single parent about your child who has been acting out. The vision that I received was about a child that was between the ages of 7 and 10, and also some things that could help you understand whether or not this message is for you. As I've been hearing the saying, it takes a village. You may get the majority of your support, like your social network that helps support you in your parenthood. Excuse me, it could be coming from elders like your mom, your dad, or the child's grandparents or great aunts, great uncles, that type of vibe there. Okay. Also, I'm hearing the repetitious rhythm of that song Folded. Also, I'm hearing Jacquees. I'm hearing his version. I'm hearing him singing that like it's more of like an apology that I'm hearing. I'm also hearing Cool People by Chloe and Halle. That one's really strong. And I'm hearing her say, forgive me. Forgive me now, my heart. I don't know where to start. Gone are yesterday. I seen things with my retina. I'm hearing that part, and I just got chills as I was thinking about her singing that part. Okay, so I'm feeling the vibration of a child that's been acting out between the ages of 7 and 10. They may have, something may have happened to that child or to you between the ages of 7 and 10. Only you really know if this message is going to be for you. But let me quickly tell you the vision, all right? The vision that I saw was of a little boy and a little girl walking home from school through a village, but the village was kind of modern. In this village, there were elders, and I only saw women. Some of them were outside sweeping, some of them were hanging out clothes and like specifically white sheets. And also, some of them were cooking. It was like a whole lot of things. Some of them were hanging herbs to dry, a lot of things that were going on in this village. The vibration that I got around the energy of the children's mother was one of a woman who works a lot. Okay. And I got a vibe that the mother really loves the children and that she really wants to make sure that the children are straight. Like that's her whole goal of working as much as she does. But through her goal of trying to make sure that her children are taken care of, through this action of having to carry the weight of a mother and a father, the children were going neglected, okay? Not because she wanted to neglect them, all right? Not because of that. That's not the reason. That's not the vibe. Honestly, the entire vibration that I got from this entire village was that everybody was working together, trying to do the best that they could for the children. All right. So the little boy, the book bag, this is very significant. He was carrying a unusually large book bag. Like the bag was so big, it almost was like a caricature within itself. All right. His sister had on a tiny bag, like one of those character bags that are not built for books. They're just simply for the parents and the teacher to exchange papers. All right. So the little boy's bag got bigger and bigger and bigger every day that he walked his sister home. And the little boy's facial expression got more sad and more sad and more sad every day that he would come home and this bag was growing, right? But the elders weren't paying attention to the bag. They were more so paying attention to his face. And one thing that I have learned over the years is that sadness reflects just like anger. So people who are sad tend to get a reputation of having a nasty attitude or a bad attitude. And I just saw 444. So this could be something that is like a generational curse because that of being misunderstood, a generational curse of being misunderstood. All right. And I'm hearing that that was like the biggest message around this young boy, was that he is breaking generational curses. Like, to the elders and to the people in the community that see him, they only see someone who is angry. But for him, this weight, this burden that he's been carrying, it is the weight of trying to understand himself, trying to help his younger sisters. So he's looking out for the future. He's also looking out for the past because he loves his mother, and he doesn't want to disrespect the elders, but he knows that they don't understand him. Okay. And so every day that the elders would see this little boy, they would talk about how he's always mad. He has a bad attitude. He's never going to be anything. He's never going to be better than his dad, because the vibe in the vision that I had, it was more so that the dad was absent, okay? But that doesn't mean that this message isn't applicable to you if you're a single father. It just means to apply the message as it fits. You'll know if it's for you. All right, and so the last day that I saw him carrying the bag home, it was extremely big. I mean, whoa, right? And his little sister, the bag was so big that his little sister was trying to hold some of the weight up for him, but it was really nothing that she could do. She could not do anything with the weight of that bag. All right, and she wasn't saying anything. She never spoke, but the expressions were becoming more gloom because she was watching her brother, whom she also loved, and she wanted to take the weight off of him. And because she was walking with him, okay, because she was walking with him, she understood his burdens. All right, she understood his burdens in a way that no one else could. And so she too would hear the elders talking about him just as he would. All right. And so the last day, that bag was so extremely heavy. His sister was trying to help him with it, but she couldn't. And the elders heard him. He was like cussing. He was like, shh, like saying a few choice words, but it had nothing to do with anything other than his burden. Had nothing to do with anything other than the burden that he was carrying that no one else seemed to see. All right. And so the elders in the vision, they came to reprimand him, and they went the traditional route, which was physical and beating him and telling him what he's not going to do and how to stay in a child's place. And the way they were beating him in this vision, he was like going down. Like each time they would hit him, he would just like get shorter, like he would go into the ground like a peg or something. And this was when his sister's face became the most hysterical. Like she was tearful, she was upset, she didn't overreact, she didn't outwardly cry. She never spoke through the entirety of the vision, but you could see that she was taking on some of that pain and suffering in silence that her brother was carrying. I always feel emotional when I get to this part of the vision. I've been trying to bring this vision to you guys for a while now, but I know that timing, divine timing, has been at hand, because whomever this vision was for, this message has been divinely orchestrated to get to you. Okay, so when the mother got home, the elders, of course, told her, like, we had to beat him today. We had to beat him today because he was out there cussing, and we had to let him know to stay in a child's place. We're helping you out while you're at work. And, it takes a village. And the mother, I could feel her apprehension in agreeing with the elders, because she didn't want them to beat her son, but she also didn't want them to neglect her son. 911. All right, she didn't want them to neglect her son, but she felt apprehensive about saying, like, yes, it does. It takes a village. Her son needed her to be the bridge in that moment and speak up towards her son, him. Okay, so there's a message here that the elders were doing the best they could. The mother was doing the best she could. The children were doing the best that they could. The father is absent. The other parent is absent. The mother is carrying a burden that nobody understands, that nobody can see. The son is carrying a burden that nobody can see. the son is in this very pivotal role of breaking generational curses. A lot of people think that they are the ones that's breaking generational curses, when it's actually their children who are the ones that are breaking these curses. It is now the goal of the parents to try to clear this pathway. You know how a lot of parents say things like, to our children, like, well, you'll understand when you have your own children. God was showing me something around that phrasing, that we don't realize that we're cursing our children when we say this, that it's a phrase that we really need to remove from what we say to our children. It comes from a space of being hurt and misunderstood, because we too were once children carrying these loads and burdens that nobody understood, and people speaking onto us curses, not realizing that they were, just like the elders. They were cursing the child, yet they beat the child for cussing. Okay, cussing is an expenditure of energy that you need to release. That's not serving you. It's a release. Okay, cursing is speaking negatively onto someone else, telling someone what they will be, what they won't be. That is a curse, fam. I've been preaching this for years, but sometimes it falls on deaf ears, because sometimes we play the victim role so much that we don't really see ourselves when we are not the victim, when we are the one that's actually the abuser. Because it's difficult to see ourselves as the abuser. Train, that's divine. This is a divine highlighted message right here. It's difficult to see ourselves as the abuser, because we have no intention of being the abuser. It's not our goal to abuse. Our goal is to help. Our goal is to heal. Our goal is to speak the truth. But in this moment, I'm hearing God say that when we do say, oh, you'll understand when you are a parent, that is inviting the child into your struggle. And that's something that we don't want. It hit me finally like, oh, we shouldn't desire our children to necessarily partake in the struggle, but we want them to surpass where we have come. We want them to live in a space where they're able to be happy, where they're able to be longer, where they desire to live longer. It's difficult to desire to live longer when everything feels like pure hell, where everything you do feels like you're misunderstood. Okay? So when you go to speak to these people, this community of elders, whomever they may be in your life, and they're telling you about your child, just know your child is listening. Their ears perk up every time they hear you on the phone with grandma or grandpa or auntie or uncle or whomever these people are, right? And they want to know, like, what is mom about to say about me? What is dad about to say about me? And I don't want you to see these elders as someone that you need to attack either, because it's not about that. You are literally needing to be a bridge at this moment to help clear the pathway for your child, to bridge the gap between these generations, okay, of understanding on both sides. It is heavy. I'm seeing a woman like bowing down and bracing the ground, like with screaming and crying, because this is a heavy space. But I'm hearing that you are chosen. You are one that is a part of this, that is breaking generational curses. But your role in this is to be the bridge. And to be a bridge is a very, very uncomfortable position to be in. But it's your space right now. You are bridging an area with love, okay? That's what's going to help to take some of this load off, with understanding, with peace, with compassion, okay? Some parents have missed this altogether. I don't want to get into it, but some parents, you have to remember, they were once children. And some parents, they had parents who did a number on them. I mean, their mind is completely, they may be smart as they can be, but in terms of emotions and understanding human connection, they are just as slow as frozen molasses. All right? So I want you to understand this about your child and your position and their role. Your child is not just simply acting out for the heck of it. your child is carrying burdens. And the way you're going to help your child to overcome this space is by being a listener, is by being supportive, is by speaking life over them in their absence. I see a mockingbird too. There's a mockingbird literally just sitting there staring at me. So whatever it is that you're saying about your child, they're mimicking that in their actions, in their vibration. Do not allow anybody to speak down on your children.